science-based psychology in my YouTube channel. And today we will be discussing about time management. What are certain strategies if you want to better manage your time and to be more productive? And I will share some neuroscience about time management and also some questions that you can ask yourself if you want to be more productive and to better manage your time. And maybe you are planning, you are using a lot of applications or you are planning ahead. However, each time you are facing some difficulties with time management, and maybe you find yourself procrastinating, or maybe you are asking, why do I always run out of time? Why does every project take longer than I think? And why can I never seem to get the important things done? If you are experiencing similar challenges, you are not alone, and generally every high achiever or successful person is experiencing these challenges from time to time. And the answer most people reach out for is a discipline, a better application, a better calendar system. However, oftentimes they notice that this doesn't provide any solutions and they find themselves procrastinating or not being able to complete things they need to get done. Therefore, the neuroscience has found that the problem is not your calendar, the problem is your brain, specifically the way it was built to perceive, estimate, and relate to time. So today we will be discussing about neuroscience, how the time is perceived and what you can change in order to be more productive and to be able to relate to time differently and to be able to use your time more wisely. So time is not perceived, it's constructed. Perception is seen across multiple neural systems, including prefrontal cortex, basal ganglia, cerebellum, insula, and anterior cingulate cortex. Therefore, all of these parts of the brain are involved and working together in order for the person to understand the time and to relate to it. And because the time is actively constructed rather than passively received, it's profoundly subjective and systematically distortable. And according to Eagleman at Baylor, they found that time perception is retrospectively constructed by the brain and infers duration afterwards from the density of encoded memories. And therefore, the new, novel, and emotionally significant events feel to last longer, whereas the routines and everyday events, they seem to last shorter, even though there are 24 hours every day. But the way we relate to the time, depending on the relationship we create with the time, our perception and time management significantly differs. And this was designed from ancient times when people were living in more difficult circumstances in forests, for instance, or while they had a lot of wild animals around them. And if they were able to detect any threat, they were more cautious towards the details, cues, and what helped the brain to encode the information and to remember it more carefully, and therefore it seemed as if the time was lasting longer. And however, when there were no significant novelty or danger or threat and everything is going as planned, then the brain is not paying attention to details or cues so significantly or to emotions, and therefore it's encoded as something not significant, and therefore it might be difficult to remember what has happened during that time, or to remember even the details, and therefore time seems to pass slowly. And that's why your days are highly repetitive cognitively. For instance, every day we are answering the emails, going to meetings, making similar decisions, and whereas there is same environment, same patterns, and that's one of the reasons why it might seem as if the time passes very fast and nothing is changing, and that you cannot regulate your time or nothing new is happening. And therefore one of the ways to increase the quality of your time or to be able to be more productive is adding meaning into your life, or reminding yourself why this task is important for you. Maybe writing down what's the importance of it for you, or reminding yourself, for instance, when you are trying to speak in public, it can be a very uncomfortable experience, and when a person reminds themselves why they are here, why they are trying to communicate what they want to communicate, like their relationship towards the time changes, their perception of the time changes, and instead of being something that is not alive or insignificant, time becomes a tool for you to reach somewhere, to achieve something, and therefore your relationship towards it changes, and the way you use it, it also changes. And for instance, some strategies that you can apply in order to add novelty into time is change where you start work. It might be from a different room, even a different chair, or at a certain different time, or changing the order of the tasks, or including any new strategies, novelties into your work, and starting your day from a different first action. Therefore, you are not changing your life, but with small adjustment or with small novelty, you can implement or add new emotions, new meaning and novelty into your life, and this would considerably change the way you relate to your day, or it will add an emotional component towards to your day, and as a result, it would change the way you are relating to your time and using your time also. And when you have strong emotions, for instance, try to remember if anything dramatic has happened to you, something like accident or death. People are generally remembering every detail of what has happened, or if you were having strong emotions at that time. Therefore, adding these strong emotions intentionally is another strategy of changing your time. For instance, linking a task to a purpose, asking yourself, why does this matter for me, or adding a small reward after completion, or noticing progress, even tiny wins. And therefore, emotions tell your brain that this is worth remembering, and it will be easier for you to learn a new information, or to relate to time differently, and to be able to use it differently. And there are certain time perception distortions that might influence the way you plan and your productivity as well. One of them is related with planning fallacy. People are generally thinking that the tasks will last for certain time, deriving from their best experience, maybe thinking about their about their best version of themselves, that they would be healthy, that there would be no time interruptions, there would be nobody who will be disturbing them, or everything will go as planned. But life is a little bit different. We have a lot of responsibilities, we have difficulties, we have kids, we have relationships, and there are a lot of difficulties and problems are arising on the way. And if, for instance, we feel tired or exhausted, it may take us longer, or if we are trying to complete certain things in a group, there can be some problems with other members of the group, and this can make it to take the task to last longer. Therefore, considering all these challenges and thinking about the worst case scenarios as well, and also applying your time, your planned time by 1.5 is one of well-known strategies to be more realistic while you are planning. And if, for instance, there are many people involved in the task, maybe even multiplying the time that you are allocated for that task by 2 is another strategy you can try. And also, we start to do tasks better, or we can focus better, or we can complete a little more at the times of urgency. If the task feels urgent and important, then we are able to focus better, to complete more things. Therefore, creating artificial urgency is another strategy that can be used to better manage our time. That's why manufacturing earlier personal deadlines, creating artificial urgency is one of most reliably effective time management interventions. And another challenge that many people are experiencing is time blindness. According to Berkeley, it's one of most common vulnerabilities of people who are experiencing symptoms of ADHD. For them, it can be difficult to understand how long the task will take and how much time is needed, or simply how much time is being used. And therefore, in extreme time, there can be only two temporal zones exist that are now and not now, and therefore becoming aware of these challenges, and instead of blaming ourselves, using certain strategies maybe for people who might be experiencing ADHD symptoms. For instance, planning your day more thoroughly, as we have discussed, and uniting some tasks with things that give us feelings of enjoyment or add meaning to it, and dividing your tasks into smaller pieces and trying to focus on the least thing that you can, are certain strategies that can be applied if you are experiencing ADHD symptoms. And another well-known theory and research on this area is Zeigarnik effect and open loops. According to Zeigarnik research, they have found that incomplete tasks, the tasks that you couldn't complete, occupy persistent mental representation, and they are functioning somewhere in your background, that's subconscious, and consuming your energy, continuing to consume your energy. And this also generates ongoing attentional costs even when not actively worked. And according to Maskiampo and Baumeister, there was another research that found that not completing the task by forming specific implementing plans, making deliberate deferral as effective is completion for reducing cognitive load. So for these challenges, for instance, we can create certain plans for obstacles in advance. If the things do not go as planned, what else can I do? How can I compensate this challenge, or what can be done in order to complete the task? And at the end of the day, using some shutdown rituals and noticing what hasn't been done and planning it for the next day, or sometimes giving it to other people can be some strategies or skills that you can apply if you want to better manage your time. So let's try to slow down for a moment, because when you say I don't have enough time, what is often feels like that everything matters, everything is urgent, and your attention is being pulled into 10 different directions. But if you are able to prioritize what's really important for you at this point, and if you just focus on one task at a time and try to make the most use of that time, this time, using this time in this manner can be more productive for you and more useful. And there was a man who had more demands on his time and almost anyone you can imagine, and he was ruling the country, the huge empire, the Roman Empire, and he was leading armies, making political decisions, and initiating conversation with a lot of people and trying to help them to solve their problems. And yet he wrote something surprising in his reflections, later known as meditations, that you could live life right now and let that determine what you do and say and think, and therefore reminding ourselves about the fact that life is not infinite and it will end one day, and reminding that maybe can help you to prioritize what you need to do today, what you really want, what you really need and want, and what's really important for you. And he wasn't talking about urgency, he was talking about clarity. because the problem was never time, it was indifferentiated importance. So applying this for one time management challenge, for instance, today, and using this Marcus filter, you can try before your next task, pause for 5 seconds and ask, if today were finite, would this still matter? Is this still important for me? Not theoretically, but in your actual calendar. You would, when you look from this perspective and using this filter, you would notice that there are a lot of not urgent tasks or not important tasks that seem to be important. Maybe there are some things that you are doing during the day that you could drop, or you could just stop doing. Some priorities are inherited, not chosen. For instance, some of things that we do are coming from our culture, but sometimes in the sessions people realize that actually there is no meaning of it for them anymore, and they realize that they are wasting their time on certain things. And most time management advice tells you to optimize. This doesn't ask you to subtract, for instance, what are certain things that you could drop or you could stop doing that are not contributing to you meaningfully at all. Maybe it can be watching a productivity video instead of being productive, or Googling something simple and finding 12 tabs and a mild identity crisis when you are trying to complete certain things. And again, focusing your work on one thread. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly returned to one principle: do what is in front of you well. So instead of multitasking, context switching, or constant checking, we can try to do the task that we are doing, to focus just on it for 20 minutes. And for the next 20 minutes, what is the one thing I'm doing? What is the smallest step I can start today? So these are some grounding advices, strategies that can be applied if you want to better manage your time and to become more productive. Then your brain performs best when attention is narrow and stable, not divided, not focused on 10 things that you need to do. And if this is working even slightly, you will begin to feel that there is less internal pressure, there is more clarity in decision making, a subtle sense of control returning. And some other strategies to better manage your time include adjusting your environment and making it more easier for you to do the things that you need to do at that time. Maybe changing your environment, studying in different places. Some people can study better at a silent room, some people are studying better inside the crowds or outside in the nature. So finding what works for you and finding strategies that work for you and making it easier for you to complete the task instead of being your focus being pulled to different directions, and adjusting your environment and trying to make it as easy as possible for you, as realistic for you to complete the tasks, are some other strategies you can apply and try. And why traditional time management fails? Because the dominant paradigm of time management treats time as a rational resource to be allocated, whereas this strategy fails for a fundamental reason, because our relationship with time is not primarily rational, it's emotional. And tasks are not avoided because they are scheduled, but because they trigger certain emotional reactions, or maybe certain thoughts, for example. Noticing those thoughts when you are trying to start certain task and when you are avoiding. What's your mind telling you at that moment? Maybe it tells you that if you will fail, you will be a failure. Maybe there is a threat to your identity, or maybe it reminds you of some other things that, other negative things that you had in the past, or maybe you feel anxious, maybe you feel bored, maybe you feel scared. So noticing certain feelings and thoughts that are appearing just before doing the task, and trying to understand yourself. What does this feeling tell you, and how you would like to respond to it, how you want to react to it, and what do you want to do next, and what's important for you to do at that moment, as certain acceptance commitment therapy strategies that we are using to help the people in the sessions if they are having challenges with procrastination or being productive or managing their time well. Then also asking yourself, how would spending of my time would bring me closer to my goals and to what's important for me. And in your calendar, whether intended or not, a statement of your a statement like, as we have discussed, linking your plans with what's important for you is important. And considering ultradian rhythms, there are certain times when we feel more energy and when we feel more exhausted and tired. And generally, Clayton has found that there are certain 90-minute time periods where people can function better, can focus better, they feel more energy, and after that, more the second phase is following, where people feel more tired, exhausted, and they need to rest. Therefore, becoming aware of these times when you feel more energy and using these 90-minute periods to work, to schedule your time, to stay focused, and then taking some 20 minutes or more time for you to rest is, according to research, was found one of strategies that you can apply to increase your productivity. And also, when a task seems interesting for us, or if it triggers a certain reward response, we will be more focused on it, and it's more likely for us to complete the task. Therefore, trying to find what really motivates you, what helps you to feel this enjoyment, and using those activities or those factors and blending them with your time management are some other strategies you can apply. So we tried to share some neuroscience and science-based psychology strategies to help you to better manage your time. I hope that this time was helpful for you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time and being here. And if you find it useful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications, and see you in the next videos again.